Welcome guys. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a background animation as requested by one of my students. In this case, it's going to be very quick and very easy animation. So what we'll do is to select the frame tool, then go to desktop and then bring up the desktop frame like this. So in this case, I'm going to make this desktop frame any color at all can work, but I just want to use a precise color. Okay, something like this. Then the next thing is to bring the ellipse tool like this, make a perfect ellipse, and come here and make it a gradient like this. Take one of the top and then pick the back. Alright, then the next thing is to take this one too, pick the same background color like this, and then in this case you can see the ellipse has blended in with the background. But what we can do is to take this color and brighten it up like this. Okay, now we are seeing the ellipse. Okay, now for us to make it more like a 3D dimensional shape, like to add it more like a 3D effect, what we'll do is to add a fill on this, and on this fill you are going to make it a gradient as well. Okay, then I'm going to change the color to white, then change this one to white as well. So from linear I'll change it to radial, and then I'm going to swap the color like this. So the idea here is to make these points a little bit brighter to look like it's having a highlight. If you are not seeing it as much, you can increase the opacity to something like 50 and you can see the highlight will be more visible. I think 30 should do the job for me. Okay, so this is the technique you can use to create something like this. If you should add something like a drop shadow right here, then make it black like this, and select this guy, go to effect and go to layer blur and increase the blurriness like this. Okay, now take this one and move it to the top, and take this one, reduce the opacity to something like 15 and make it a little bit flat like this. Okay, so you might not really need the blurriness to be much, but now if I increase the brightness of my background, you can see I now have something like a sitting board there like this, which is pretty cool. Group them if you want to make use of it like this, and then you have something like that. But let's move on with this one. The next thing we are going to do now is to duplicate this guy, duplicate this one, duplicate like this, duplicate. Okay, then in the next one you're going to select this guy, duplicate, Ctrl D, and then randomize these people like this. Anyhow you think is going to be cool for you, just make sure they are basically randomized. What we can now do is to select this guy and go to the prototype and say if after delay, okay, after delay like this, let's just leave it to the default after delay 800 milliseconds. Okay, so I'm going to just leave it at the default so that when I begin to set it or customize it the way it should work, I think you're going to understand it better. And so I'm shifting these frames so that it will be easier for me to work with. After delay, the default should be okay. So if I want them to loop, that means this one has to also go back to where it started from. Yeah, something like that. Okay, after delay. So if I take this guy and then play now, you can see, yeah. Alright, so basically that area is done. Okay, it will keep on looping, but I want you to notice something. This guy stays for a while before it will move. What if you want it to move in a continuous manner, that is, let it not look like it stops in anywhere? So what we can do is to come here, take the nodes, make this on 1 millisecond. That means there won't be any delay. Then if you want it to be linear, for instance, make it linear. That is, it will not make any slow kind of movement. Everywhere is going to be the same, so I'm going to change this to 1 millisecond, and then This one is going to be linear, and this one is going to be 1 millisecond, and the cover is going to be linear, and the same thing to the one that returns back to the beginning. So 1 millisecond and linear. Alright, so if you watch it now, you can see everywhere is just moving. No more delay, no more slow, no more ease in or ease out. Okay, everything moves in a linear format, that is in a straight kind of format. So then the next thing we can do now is that the background is a little bit flat. We can run we can give it more background details by selecting these guys. So I'll switch to design mode there. Select this, okay, and then I'm going to duplicate, Ctrl D. Once you duplicate, don't leave it, just hold rotate like this. Okay, so when you rotate, okay, move it back by pressing your bracket key, or you right click and say send to back. Then I'll move it back and then reduce the opacity of the main elements. Reduce the opacity to something like 10. So if you cannot see it, then you might need to increase the opacity to 20, but I think 10 should be fine. Yeah, okay, so it's not going to be much. It's just to look like there are a lot of density moving in the background like that. So Ctrl D and come here to the edge and rotate like this as well. Okay, then send to back, reduce the opacity to 20 to 10, sorry, and this one as well. Ctrl D, rotate like this. Oh, it's not much. It has to be that kind of rotation. You can move it as much as you want. So I'm going to make it 10% opacity there, and I think move to the back as well. So now you have it. If you watch, you can see they're a little bit clustered, but I think you get the idea. So you can begin to add other elements and add many other stuff, but what I can show you how to do is to maybe make something like this here. Okay, so when I make something like this, I'm going to bring another rectangle that is very, very tiny, change the color to something different. So I'm going to make it very, very tiny like this, and select both rectangle and align to the center like this. So I will now go to the boolean operation here and then say subtract. When you subtract, there's a hole down there right now. So all I cannot do is to do something like this. Ctrl C to copy this rectangle and select this one. Ctrl V to paste the rectangle there. I'm going to make sure it's fitting very well there. So I'll make sure that the color of the rectangle is the color of my background like this. Okay, so then in the next one I'll select the rectangle like this. Ctrl C and come here to this one and press Ctrl V to paste. What is happening? Okay, sorry. So this is the rectangle here. Most times when you have it like that, it's going to look like the name now will be subtract because of the boolean operation that I've made. So when you select the subtract, okay, press Ctrl C and come here Ctrl V to paste. Then all we cannot do is to scale this guy up, scale it up until that tiny hole there reveals the entire page like this. No matter how it is, I'm holding Shift and Alt at the same time to scale. Now you can see they are very open now. So now we have something like that there. So you can decide to have more frames, but because I would want it to close, so I think I'm going to have more. Control D, so that's, and then I can now take this, the other guy there, like in this place now I have the subtracts, so I'll select the subtracts here, the big subtract, Control C to copy, and then paste it here, Control V. Okay, so it's now on this one. Then I can now select the contract, the subtract that is that is small there, and then paste it on the last one, Control V to paste. So what that means is that in this place it's going to review, and in this place it's going to close. Okay, this one it will review, while this from here it will close. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so you can begin to customize it like more. So in this area now, for instance, we can change the prototype instead of linear, because obviously linear is not going to be fine now. Instead of linear, we are going to make it ease in and ease out, or possibly we can change it to custom bezier and drag this handle like this. Okay, then in this area as well, for it to close, it's going to look like this. Now you don't have this one here because it ended there, so I'm going to take that guy there. Remember we duplicated the last one, so I'm going to take it to this one and change it to something like a ease in and ease out, and then make a custom bezier. Something like this should be fine. You can drag it to the extreme, but I think it's going to be a little bit aggressive. Okay, so now we cannot take this one to go back to the beginning there, which is pretty cool. So if you watch it now, it will look like this. Alright, so that is exactly what I've done to get something like this. So if you need help, just let me know. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and then ask your question in case if you have any issue. I will try as much as I can to respond as soon as possible.